Hello, everyone. We want to take this opportunity to say thank you. As you grow at the Golden Boot, so do our needs, but we cannot do it without you. We ask that you continue to like our posts, share our content, and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, and other social media platforms. You may also visit thegoldenboot.com for the latest merch. If you would like to make a financial donation, you can do so through Cash App at #GoldenBoot or through PayPal at paypal.me/goldenboot. We look forward to bringing you more laughs, knowledge, and entertainment. And again, thank you for your endless support. Sincerely and respectfully, the Golden Boot team.
The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Golden Boot. It's your boy Pooh Bear. I got my man Aunt Petty Murphy in the building. It is a lovely Thursday night. We got the Lady Tigers on the TV. They started off slow, making a quick push, trying to get back. Just pushed it back even against Georgia at home on what is now known as the Dale Brown Court. For right
don't
now,
even.
I ain't gonna. Nah, them folks was going crazy on Blake's show talking about that. But as we say every episode, thank you for coming in. We truly appreciate your support. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. Don't forget, subscribe, like, share. Tell your friends, tell your enemies.
We're 426 subscribers away from 1,000. So y'all tell your neighbor, your auntie, your co-workers, your babysitters, everybody to subscribe to the Golden Boot on YouTube.
Yes, sir. And as we always say, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate it. Got our good man, Julian, the baseball guy, Romero. Got Josh in the building. What's good, Josh? Holding it down. He said, "Don't open no can of worms." Yeah, them can. That's a can. That might be a barrel. Paul's Hub in the building. Andrew Paul's Hub Martin. He said, "Wait, what happened on Blake's show? I couldn't watch tonight. Go back and watch it."
Yeah.
So
ain't gonna do it. We ain't gonna do it.
No. I will say this. You can call me woke. Call Aunt woke. Ain't gonna hurt my feelings, but you're gonna have to define it.
Big facts.
You're gonna have to be able to define it.
Big facts.
Speaking of woke, CRT, happy Black History Month. Happy Black History Month, everybody. It's not just our history, it's not for our culture. It's for everybody's history. And it didn't start in 1619, and it won't end with President Obama. So happy Black History Month. And today,
shout out to them boys.
Today, we have these three gentlemen were the first three black men to play in the NBA. Mr. Earl Lloyd, Mr. Chuck Cooper, and Nat Sweetwater Clifton.
Sweetwater.
So, hey, you know what kind of you got? You know, you have to be a hell of a baller.
You got to be cold, dog, to have a name like Sweetwater.
Sweetwater.
Yeah. You got it. Hey, your jumper got to be so pure, dog. It ain't even funny.
Sweetwater. But yeah, man.
You know he had all the ladies too. They go Sweetwater.
Yeah. You think he
ain't messing with Will though.
I was just
He
gonna
ain't
say they
messing
probably
with
ain't keep them stats like that. He probably was killing Wilt. Well,
Nah,
Wilt was known
and
to still.
nobody was
You
messing
think
with
Wilt
Wilt.
actually put up them numbers? So
I think it's a little bit exaggerated.
the conspiracy theory is that 100 ain't real. The 100-point
100
game.
is real, man.
They say that is not real. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people who say that is
Let
not
me
real.
ask you this. And I know we're on Black History Month, but let me ask you this. All them white folks at that game, you think they was finna lie for a brother back then?
You make a valid point. Yes, they would have lied.
No, bro. And then he did it on a white man too? Nah, bro. They would not have. They would have waited till he played Bill Russell and said he did it on Bill Russell.
It's too funny. Sherry Berry in the building. What's good, Sherry? Sherry, you missed it last night. It was on I was on Carter's show giving Carter marriage advice. It ain't gonna anyway. It may or may not be good.
Hey, holding them. They wasn't 6'4". The man he scored 100 points on was 6'9". All right.
Man, it wasn't about 6'9" back.
Yes, he was. Bro, stop it, bro. Don't even make me do that. Walt Bellamy was 6'10", Nate Thurman was 6'10". They had 7-footers back then, man.
They ain't even have rulers that big back then. I'm just playing. Stop.
Ned Clifton played at Xavier University of New Orleans. Look at Chuck, man.
Okay.
Sweetwater.
Well,
if he was from New Orleans, he would have been that swamp water. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That is true. Normal guy in the building. What's good, normal guy? He said, I am like the third. Yeah.
It's all good, Normal. Appreciate you for watching, man.
Yeah. Let's get started. National Signing Day was yesterday.
Boring.
Interesting fact. For the first time in LSU history, they signed nobody on National Signing Day.
Hit it, Keith.
Is this gonna be the new normal?
Yeah. The new normal? No pun intended.
No pun intended. No pun intended, normal guy.
The dude said, ask Stetson. He was in attendance.
Stetson.
Touche. As a matter of fact, I heard he was the ball boy for the Hershey.
Hey, what if Stetson might have been intended for? What if Stetson like real life Benjamin Button?
Hey, it wouldn't surprise me, bro. Would not surprise me. He played football when they had leather helmets. Him and Herschel Walker played together with the leather helmets.
Oh, shoot. No comment. LSU did finish number 5 and number 6, depending on which recruiting service you look at. They were number 3 in the SEC. Number 1 transfer portal class. Overall, combined transfer portal and early recruits was like number 3.
Transfer portal killing the college football, man.
It's killing it. I was just gonna say, will fans think that the portal is bad for football?
Not this year until we lose somebody like another Jack Bash or someone else like that, or Cardell Thomas, another fan favorite, and then they're gonna say it's ruining football again.
It's transfer. I'm gonna ask this question: is it the transfer portal, or is it the rule that allows them to transfer without penalty and stuff?
I think it's the fact that they could transfer in conference with no penalty. Gotcha. I don't think it's the plan right away. I think that they don't like it whenever they go to Alabama or Texas A&M or DeMario Tolan and go to Auburn. You know what I mean? I think that's what makes fans more upset than them playing right away.
Gotcha. So something that our good man from in LSU chat group. I'm blanking on his name.
Dusty.
Thank you. Dusty brought this up, and when he posted it, I was like, oh, that is very interesting. I'm still in that, and I will be using it tonight. Thank you, sir. Bama offered 7 of the top 10 players in Louisiana. They only landed 1. That 1 was Eli Holstein.
Yeah.
He wasn't coming here, no way.
Most likely.
But, is this a good sign for Brian Kelly era?
Yes and no. I say yes because obviously, whenever you keep Alabama out the state, it's always a positive. But at the same time, Alabama's been replaced this year, you would say, by Texas. Getting Derek Williams and Arch Manning and Will Randall, getting some top guys from the state. So I'll say it's a good thing and Alabama's not getting them, but at the same time, you're not keeping everybody that you would like to keep in state also.
That's
So it's not the state ain't completely locked down. You just keeping who you want to keep out.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get to that one too. Any big surprises nationally?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Nicholas Harbor. In a sense, it wasn't really a surprise to me. I
It had
thought
been
South
rumored.
Carolina had a chance, but anytime South Carolina lands a 5-star, it's a surprise, honestly. So that's got to be the big surprise.
I think that is a big surprise. I think so. Here's the funny thing. I think most of the biggest surprises happen in the HBCU side, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a big one.
But Nicholas Harbor is one that a lot of people have said just simply because.
Oh my bad. Go ahead.
No, just simply because that a lot of people were thinking Michigan, thinking LSU, Oregon, thinking LSU was kind of still in the race a little bit. So, yeah.
Then you got Rashada was the other big name.
Yeah.
Finally landing at Arizona State. So I think those were probably the two big ones yesterday. Obviously, Kwani McLean, whenever he decided to flip, was that was pretty big, but that wasn't yesterday. So.
Yeah, normal guy asked, who was the DB from California that commit to Oregon? He said not Dalen Austin.
I have no idea.
I'm not sure about that one. That's something I have to look up.
I'll go try to find it though.
All right, but if while you look at that, Julian brought up Tommy Reese to Alabama as the OC. Blake talked about this a lot on his show.
I don't think it's happening.
You don't think it's happening?
No,
I'm not scared if it does happen. That's like a name that doesn't, like, I hear that I'm like, oh man, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna make it tough for LSU. I don't think that when I hear that name.
I'm not gonna go that far. I get why you say that because of what we've seen from him in Notre Dame, but he'll have a lot of different talent pool to work with.
It's always Alabama. I get that. I just don't. When I see that, I'm not like, saying it's gonna be tough.
Oh yeah, I'm with you.
It's like it's not Sark. It's not Lane. It's not even Loxley.
I'm not gonna go there. I don't know that because the roster that he's got to work with at Notre Dame, he can only be so imaginative. You can only be so creative with that roster. So if he has a deck of cards to play with, you know what I'm saying, it might look different. So I get why you say that. I have to see him if I see him at a Florida or if I see him at a Ohio State or someone like that has comparable talent and he still looks the same, then I would agree with you that I'm not scared of him. But as of now, I just feel like he could be a different person when he has different talent around. Honestly, I'm just glad they didn't get the guy from Washington. He scares me.
Oh yeah.
He scares me.
I think that's funny because I don't think we talked about that. I think it's funny that he turned him down.
He scares me, bro.
Yeah. So, I guess we can go here. Tom Brady, TB12, finally retires. Well, he retires again. February 1st, 2023. 1 year to the date exactly. They retired last year.
Yeah, I think he's for real this time, though.
Yeah, I can see it in his eyes. It's like he was going to cry. Like, seriously, like he was going to cry. And no jokes aside. Carter show last night. We talked about this. Me and Blake actually had a debate about this. Tom Brady. A lot of people consider him the GOAT. Do you consider him the GOAT?
I'm finna probably You probably gonna consider this cop out,
Mm-mm.
but I think Peyton Manning is the best regular season quarterback of all time.
I can completely agree with that.
I feel like Joe Montana is the best postseason quarterback of all time.
Okay.
But I feel like if you just talking purely just quarterback, it's Tom Brady. However, if you asking me who I would take, like to start a franchise with, if any quarterback, he would not be my first, second, or probably third pick.
Let's be honest. He won the Patriots first, second, or third pick.
That's very true. That's very true. I just feel like his greatness isn't necessarily all skill related. A lot of it is intangibles and leadership and getting the most out of your teammates. A lot of it isn't actually his abilities. Like Aaron Rodgers is him or Patrick Mahomes is the best thrower of the football I've ever seen in my life. Peyton Manning is probably the most cerebral quarterback I've ever seen. Like, there's nothing that I think Tom Brady does better than anybody else as far as skill with the football. Everything he does better than everybody else is all intangibles.
Gotcha. Let me ask this.
What you think? Is he the GOAT?
I can see why he can be considered the GOAT. I personally, just for sake of argument, I think there's better out there. I just can't put my finger on it, if that makes sense to you. So
yeah, I get what you're saying, but
I think that everything there's nothing Tom Brady did or does that I can look at and be like, no other quarterback can do that.
Agreed.
No other player can do that. There's nothing about him, but he did it. And he did it for a long time. And
to me, that's the best thing that for his argument for his legacy is his durability and his longevity. You know what I mean? The fact that he was able to do it that long at such a high level. To me, that's what makes him the GOAT. It's nothing that he did skill-wise. It's just the fact that he was able to sustain his level of play longer than anybody else.
Chris brings up a point. A lot of people think it's crazy, but he said Jerry Rice leads in air statistical category at his position.
That's very valid point.
And that's very valid. It's very fair. And I can't argue against that right now. But I think if somebody, if this is gonna sound biased, if Chase or Jefferson play, I ain't gonna say Chase or if Jefferson plays long enough with the right quarterback, I think he can catch Jerry Rice.
Yeah, we thought the same thing about Odell the way and Jarvis the way they started their careers. It's hard to sustain.
I didn't necessarily think Odell would. I thought Odell would be great. I didn't think Odell would
Jarvis the way he started with all those catches, Michael Thomas and his run, Cooper Kupp just
the
went
problem
on his
I have
run.
The problem with Jarvis for me was who he played with.
That's true. That's true. Jefferson played with Kirk Cousins. I
know that's what I think that's part of me. What impresses me so much. Again, I get there's an argument there with Jerry Rice, but
if you're going off Super Bowls, it's Brady. Charles Haley's close second. Charles Taylor a close second. But this Super Bowl thing, we got to bring up the fact that there's two sides of a football. You have an offensive side and you have a defensive side. And Tom Brady has had 17 seasons out of his 20 seasons or whatever he played, 22 seasons, whatever it was. 17 seasons with a top 10 defense. 17 seasons with a top 10 defense.
All right. Because I got a little. I don't want to rant, but I do have a little. You gonna speak to the people? You're not gonna tell them, hey? Okay. I got a little rant about when it comes to Super Bowls and goats and stuff, or championships and goats. in basketball, is fair. I think it's fair to kind of use championships in there, but it's still a team achievement. But in basketball, um, it's easier for one player to take over a game. A
Well,
lot
one player
easier.
has to play both sides of the court. You have to
Yes.
play both sides of the ball in basketball. And football is the only sport where you only play one side. So you have to rely on your teammates to do half of the work for you.
So my thing, if you're going, when you clarify GOAT, please do not throw championships in there.
Agreed.
That is that is a pep. If you, because me and Blake were having the debate we were having last night, and what I was saying to Blake was saying, yeah, he's got 7 rings, he's done this, he got him through, and I get that. Great statistics, use all them statistics. Tell me about his record in the what you call it. Great. Still, even with the record,
that's
team it's still team statistic. But I get it, leadership and stuff. Okay, intangibles, give me that. But do not throw in championships, because that is if anybody is able to claim championships for GOAT status, is going to be a coach. Period.
Yeah, I agree. And my thing is, even wins to me.
Thank you, this old vet. Hey, this old I want to say this. I did produce 2 shows yesterday for Blake. We did our show, and then I did Carter's show. This old vet was on each one. So appreciate you, this old vet, for not only, supporting me, but supporting like pretty much all of, because I think I've seen him on Mike Scarborough as well. But thank you for supporting, like, small media and stuff. That it means a lot to us. So if nobody ever told you, we appreciate it.
So GOAT always, this old vet always in here. Yeah. But the GOAT thing, man, as far as like the rings, even wins that's a team statistic to me. Like, how many times have we seen quarterbacks, and since I'm a Saints fan, I bring up Drew Brees. How many times has Drew Brees thrown for 500 yards and 4 touchdowns and they lost the game? Yeah. But then you got a quarterback who could throw 3 interceptions, 1 touchdowns, and 100 some yards and win a game because they got a good defense. That doesn't mean this quarterback is better than Drew Brees. You get them? Right. So you can't go off wins, especially whenever you look at the fact that, like, Tom Brady has never had worse than a 15th ranked defense except for this season. Never had worse than a 15th ranked season. And if you look at some of the other quarterbacks in his era, I'll just bring up his era. The average defense for Peyton Manning was 14th in the league. The average defense for Drew Brees was 26th in the league. The average defense for Aaron Rodgers was 14th in the league. The average defense for Tom Brady was 7th in the league. So you have to look at how much help he is getting from the other side of the ball and how that helps him go on these championship runs. So if you take away the championship part of the debate, it's not as cut and dry as everybody tries to make it seem. Yes, he has more completions. Yes, he has more attempts. Yes, he has more yards, but that's because he played longer. Yeah. So if your argument is he's the GOAT because he played longer, that's a fair argument. You know what I mean? And I'm with you on that, but you can't say he's the GOAT just because he's got 7 rings, bro. Like, he had so much more help than everybody else did.
Yeah. So also, I do want to say this: if rings is a part of your criteria, please take Tom Brady out. At least 3 of those rings are clouded with scandals. You got 3. I know 2, and there's another one I just can't put my finger on which one it was. But you got Deflategate, you got Spygate. Then there's another one that's kind of clouded in a little bit of scandal. Also, in 2 of those,
about the Tuck rule.
That was the same year. That was Spygate.
Yeah, I know, but you don't never get Spygate if you don't. Well,
right.
They did Spygate twice though.
Oh, well, there you go. So they go to 3. So here's those are the 3 as far as scandal. Then you got 2 of those championships where I can honestly say defense saved him. He was The
Rams,
13-3 Rams game.
both the Rams games. I don't care what nobody. Both the Rams game. The first one, the greatest show on turf, got held to like 10 points, bro.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro.
I thought it was like 17. They kicked the field goal, which man, listen,
it was like 17-14 or something like that. But either way it goes, you stopped the greatest offense we had seen up until that time with that defense. Yeah. Tom Brady's numbers was terrible that game. Then you go to the Seattle game, Malcolm Butler pick off the pass, and they lost that game if it wasn't for Malcolm Butler getting that interception in. And then they gave Tom Brady the MVP. You know what I mean? Like, so if you go off even, and that's another thing, I feel like you can't even go off MVPs. Because I feel like that's a voted on award by sports writers who don't really pay attention to the, you know what I'm saying, to the game. Like that game where Malcolm Butler intercepted the pass, how is he not the MVP? How is that not the biggest player of the game that literally won the game for his team? I mean, if you want to go to, like, I know we're talking football, but Steve Nash getting MVPs over Kobe, like, come on, you can't really go with MVPs and just say, oh, that's why somebody better than somebody else. To me, the eye test got to be the biggest part of it. What did they do when they was on the field?
His last championship with Tampa Bay against Kansas City was also defense.
Oh yeah, they had Patrick Mahomes running for his life.
Yeah. So, but I said all that to say that right now is definitely a strong argument for Tom Brady as, you know what I'm saying, GOAT.
Oh,
I'm not gonna argue
it. I mean, he the GOAT, but you gotta change the criteria for why you determine that.
Please, just that's my own thing. Please do not say championship. At least in football, do not say championship.
I agree. Let me ask you this before we switch the subject off Brady. Okay. Will he be better than Tony Romo as an analyst?
I don't think so. So Tony
Romo done fell off.
Yeah, but I thought so. Here, that's an interesting story. A story came out today that said that they've had an intervention to talk with Tony Romo. Well, part of it is probably they stopped giving Tony Romo the script to read, so he wouldn't necessarily know. But no, seriously, I do think one thing that has made Tony Romo not as good, or people not like him as much, they stopped him from when he would sit there and say, "Hey, this is a play they're about to run." They told him to stop doing that.
Well, that's true, but at the same time, he's been out the league for 6 years now, 7 years now. Yeah. So how much has changed in the game since he's left? And I was reading it with Fox when I was on Fox on Tuesday. We talked about this on his show. Like, the further you are away from your playing days, the more out of touch you become with what's going on at the current time. So back when he played, you know what I mean, it was play action, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. Now it's a totally different brand of football. We don't see as much play action. You see more RPO game and stuff like that. So I feel like they probably did stop him, but at the same time, I don't know how effective he would be right now anyway doing that, because it's a different era of football than what he was used to. And not only just that, you still have to prepare, you know what I'm saying? If you're an announcer, you can't just rely on, oh, I would have did this in this situation, I did that. It's a different brand of football now. So you got to basically study film and see what they're doing to be able to call the plays out like that. And that was part of the intervention thing, was he wasn't preparing and doing the prep work like they felt like he needed to get ready for these games.
Completely agree. You gonna type it or you want to say it? You need to go ahead and say it so you can go. We got a little commercial from our sponsor.
Check out our merchandise, and our sponsor is our merchandise.
There you go. Check out our merchandise. Our sponsor, our merchandise. Good night.
Straight up.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank y'all. All right. Thank you from our sponsor. But yeah, man. I don't know. It's, and I brought it up in jest about the scripts. Oh, everybody's talked about it.
We know. I can't believe people thought that was real, bro.
Arian Foster on his podcast talked about about saying somebody asked, is it scripted? He said, yes, the NFL is scripted. Basically, the walkthrough or the practices are going over the script, the plays you're going to run for that week, and it's getting the script right. And all these memes and TikToks have popped up since then. First off, the internet is undefeated.
Always and forever will be.
But
Did
y'all
you
stop
see-
believing everything y'all see.
Did you see the one with Jason Pierre-Paul when it was like him reading his script and it was like,
No, man.
that was
Oh,
crazy,
man.
bro. The one, the Aaron Hernandez ones are wild, bro. Those ones are wild.
A famous man once said, "Don't believe everything you see on the internet." Abraham Lincoln. But
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Can't be doing that on Gerald Ford's internet.
I know, right? Sean Payton.
Thankfully, hallelujah. It's
Sean
over.
Payton. Yeah, the Sean Payton saga is over. Sean
Hallelujah.
Payton is headed to the Broncos.
And that's why I wanted the Eagles to win last week.
With that being said, in return, the Eagles got what, a first round this year, a 2020.
No, the Saints got.
I'm sorry, not the Saints. Eagles.
Yeah,
I
the
said
Saints.
Eagles.
I know.
Saints
We got a first round this year,
which
and
is
a
like
second
number
round
29.
next year. Yeah, it's number 29, and we got a second round next year, and we sending them a third round next year.
Yeah. Did the Saints get enough in return?
Yeah. I think people gotta realize. All right, let's backtrack a little bit. Let's go back to whenever the reports first came out that the Saints was gonna get 2 first round picks for him. You gotta realize he didn't coach last year. The last time we saw a coach go for 2 first round picks, it was John Gruden. However, John Gruden was coming off that same Tuck Rule game, which was the AFC Championship game. So not only was he an active coach, he was coming off of a championship game appearance. Totally different than what the last time we saw Sean Payton, which not only was it more than a year ago, but it wasn't a championship game appearance. It wasn't even a playoff appearance. So you have to look at the difference at the level of coach you have at that time. Not only just that, we can ask for whatever, but somebody got to be willing to pay it. And when Carolina picked their coach, Frank Wright, and once the Texans settled in on DeMeco Ryans, it was obvious that the only person left that was really interested in Sean Payton was Denver. And it looked like they really weren't all that interested, but we'll get to that. But so, I mean, whenever the demand lowers, then the price lowers. And so you lucky that you got a first round pick. Honestly, I say that. And the second round pick next year, I would personally not want to give up the third, but ultimately you just swap the third for a second next year, which with the Saints, the way they like to move up is pretty good deal. So I'm just glad it's over with. And the fact that you got something for him instead of losing him for nothing next year is beneficial to me. So I'm cool with it.
I agree. We had to get something. Saints fans don't kill me for this. Sean Payton wasn't as good as y'all say.
I mean,
as we say,
he Mike McCarthy.
He got one championship. He's got now. Granted, we don't know what would have happened with the no call. I think we win that Super Bowl. We make it the no call, but
that's true. But
that's the if game. But that's still 2 out of what? We kept Drew too long. He
left when we didn't have no plan. We didn't draft the quarterback. You could have had Lamar Jackson. You could have had some of these other guys, but you didn't draft them. And then you tried the Taysom Hill experiment. And when you realized that you didn't have a quarterback in the foreseeable future, you dipped. That's what it is. Like, let's be real about it.
You also, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. You also draft like you Bill Belichick and the Patriots. There were so many reaches. And we had some guys that panned out, and you're like, oh, Okay, but then you got some guys that are like, huh? What? Why? And that's all you can, and that's all you can say. But
Yep.
I personally, um, I think you'll be better off in the long. Well, you could be better off in the long run once we get another coach. I'm not, and I'm not saying Dennis Allen is terrible, but he ain't good right now.
He
So
ain't good, bro. But I
yeah,
say this though, back to Sean Payton. Sean Payton is Mike McCarthy. Like, if you want to
fair,
be honest with it, that's who you got in here. I mean,
fair, fair.
they both offensive minded guys who are above average play calling, if not, great play callers. One championship appearance among them, and both have been to a conference championship game other times and not been able to succeed, whether it was against the Bears or the no call. And I understand the no call situation, but you had a chance to win it overtime. And we can argue about that till the cows come home, but the fact of the matter is he made it to the conference championship game multiple times and didn't win it.
Yeah.
They're the same guy. Mike McCarthy got the job in Green Bay the exact same year that Sean Payton got the job in New Orleans. If you look at their resumes, it's basically the exact same. So people don't look at Mike McCarthy as he's one of the greatest coaches in the league right now. They look at him as a great coach, but not a top 3 coach. And I feel like that's right where Sean Payton should be.
I agree. How should the Saints use their picks now? Now we got a late first round pick and is it 2 seconds we got?
No, we only got 1 second.
Okay,
We got
1 second.
we
Then
got a pick in every round right now though. Man, I don't know. I've been doing some mock drafts, and it's a little too early right now.
I've seen some pretty good ones too. At least name wise on paper.
Okay, who you seen that you like?
I've seen one I saw the LSU fantasy one.
That's not happening. I don't even.
I know, but it was like BJ
makes no sense. BJ makes no sense. With the Saints run a 4-3 or a 4-2-5. BJ is a 3-4 stand-up jack outside linebacker. It makes absolutely no sense for the Saints to draft him. Can we stop with this, please?
It was I forget who the
it was BJ, it was Jacqueline Roy, it was BJ Kayshawn, Jacqueline Roy, like Makai, Jay Ward, like come on, y'all.
Yeah.
Come on,
bro. All right. Then the one I actually saw that I actually did like, excuse me, it still had Booty, but it was Eichel.
It's the same principle.
No, I'm sorry. I take that back. It was Eichel.
This dude here.
Henry Hooker.
In the first round?
No. Henry Hooker was in the second round.
Okay, I can give it that. I can give
it that.
No,
it was Henry Hooker was the second round. And I forget who the third round was, but I always remember the first two. Daniel say get Ali Gay.
Yeah, maybe
get Ali
5.
Gay. Oh, I'm sorry. Get Ali Gay.
Then he said Ika can play in a 4-3. Ika is
he can't.
I haven't seen it.
He can play in a 4-3. He started 2020 in a 4-3, but he hated it. It didn't fit him, and he left.
He wasn't good in it. That's why
he was like he was dominant. He was leading like PFF.
PFF is trash.
Hey, I'm just saying.
But I'm just like, if you look at any draft report on Ika, it says that he is a odd front nose. So I mean, it doesn't make sense for the Saints to draft him either. I've seen a few that I like. I wouldn't mind getting Osiris Torrance, and I know people are gonna say another guard, but yes, Andrews Pete needs to go, so we need somebody to replace him. I've seen us getting some edge guys. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind getting a D tackle. There's a guy from Pitt, last name like Clancy, I think, who had 7.5, 8 sacks from the D tackle position this year. If they go quarterback in the first round, it's not going to be Hendon Hooker. I guarantee you it's going to be Tanner McKee or whatever the kid from Stanford name is, the 6'6" guy. I guarantee you, if they draft a quarterback in the first round, that's who it's gonna be.
That's not who the Saints need. Saints need to get with the program,
I'm telling you who
get
they.
some mobility.
I'm
I get that. I get it.
telling you, he is 6'6" Andy Dalton. I mean, he'll take care of the ball a little better. You know what I mean? He one of them accurate quarterbacks. Doesn't have great athleticism, but he can move pretty good. He played at Stanford. They didn't have much around him, so he was constantly improvising and running for his life. He can make some good throws on the run from what I've seen, but I'm telling you, if the Saints go quarterback, that's who it's gonna be.
Some people have been saying Saints might look at Anthony Richardson.
No, he's gonna be gone.
You think he'll be gone in the first?
Yes. I don't see him going past pick 20.
All right, Saints lose both of their co-DCs. We already knew Ryan Nielsen took the job with the Falcons to the Falcons. Chris Richard and the Saints actually just parted ways.
Yeah, I think that has to do with Chris Richard wants to call plays, and that ain't happening as long as Dennis Allen is the head coach. Dennis Allen is going to call plays on defense. So I think that was more of just a philosophy difference, more so than anything else. I don't think there was any, beef or nothing like that. Or it obviously wasn't from performance standards, because our pass defense was second in the league behind Philadelphia. So I think it was more so Richard wants to call plays, and he wasn't going to have that opportunity in New Orleans. I could see him ending up in Denver, honestly. David Irvin says all these changes in the area, that wasn't the problem. I mean, that's true, but at the same time, we couldn't stop Ryan Nielsen from leaving because it was technically a promotion. And also, this is Dennis Allen's defense. So while Chris Richard and Ryan Nielsen were good at what they do, this defense is still going to be Dennis Allen's defense. You know what I mean? Like, no matter who you have running it. So I don't really think it's as big of a loss as it sounds like whenever you hear you're losing your two co-DCs, because you still got the man it'd just be like losing an offensive coordinator if Sean Payton was over the other side. It's still Sean calling the shots.
I love to see the script from this the LSU women's basketball game, because Angel Reese literally just swapped. She was like 10 feet away from girl and swapped down. The girl was shooting a shot, and the girl missed a shot. They called a foul. Yeah. Referees are terrible. These referees are terrible. On the offensive side, wide receiver coach Ronald Curry interviews for the Tampa Bay offensive coordinator. So
Rooney Rule.
Yeah. When I saw Ronald Curry, I was like, it can't be that Ronald Curry.
Talking about the one that used to hoop?
Yeah. I was like, what? But no. But no, Ronald Curry, current wide receiver coach for Tampa Bay. I mean, for the Saints. He interviews for the Tampa Bay OC job. You say Rooney Rule.
Yeah.
He also currently is serving as the offensive coordinator for the Senior Bowl.
Which makes me feel like it's the Rooney Rule. This man has never called plays before. And y'all finna hire him to be the offensive coordinator. Like, this is his first real opportunity to show what he can do as a play caller. So I'm not saying it can't happen, but I just don't see that being. I don't see him being a true finalist for the job. As of now, I'll just say that.
Gotcha. Speaking of Rooney Rules, DeMeco Ryans.
Nah, that ain't no Rooney Rule situation now, my boy. Not in my opinion, at least.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think he's very deserving. But DeMeco Ryans is named the new head coach for the Houston Texans.
Yeah, he's former player for the Houston Texans as well. So I feel like the relationship he already has with that franchise makes it a little different than the David Carley and Lovie Smith hires that we've seen in the past few years. Not just that, he got a 6-year deal. So, which lets me feel like they're going to give him, a pretty good, amount of time to try to figure out and turn this thing around.
I
I
thank
do
you,
agree with
Dave.
David Irvin. I do
Yeah.
agree with David Irvin that the Texans don't treat coaches very well. He got a long-term deal, but the Texans don't treat coaches. But you have to take into consideration that this is a former player who's been with that franchise before. So
I'll give you that.
if they were going to treat any coach the right way, you know what I mean, it would be this. And I'm not going to say that they didn't do Bill O'Brien the right. I feel like they were more than fair with Bill O'Brien. They gave him GM powers after he had shown he was a capable coach. If anything, they gave him too much, and they were too favorable with Bill O'Brien. So I just think recently, after they let Bill O'Brien go with the David Collins situation and then the Lovie Smith situation, that has gave them a bad name. But part of that was because of what they were going through off the field as well.
Do you give as far as Romeo Cromwell?
I mean, Romeo
I know he
Crennel
was.
was an interim. He
I
was
know
an
he's
interim
interim.
coach. I mean, how many interim coaches get the job?
Your name's Steve Wilkes. You definitely ain't getting it.
I mean,
Prove yourself.
I mean, but it's a lot of them that don't get it.
I know it's a lot.
So I feel like you can't necessarily pick like you can't be too hard on them for not retaining the interim head coach. A lot of times they want to go completely away from the old staff. I will say that David Collins got a bad hand, but it wasn't too many people gonna take that job knowing that Deshaun Watson in the situation that he was going through at the time. And then only reason they hired Lovie Smith was because they couldn't hire Josh McCown because of the lawsuit that Brian Flores had. So I mean,
Flores out here doing the Lord's work.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of gray that comes into this situation. It's not as black and white as it seems. No pun intended.
Oh, very punished. But my question is, if you were DeMeco Ryans or any black head coach that was offered the Texas job, can you honestly turn it down, knowing their reputation with how they treat coaches and stuff, or how they build? I mean, as a black head coach, can you turn it down?
I mean, he turned down other jobs to get that job. Honestly, if we based off the reports, Denver reached out to him before, you know what I'm saying? Multiple times.
And I get it. He had other options.
Yeah.
He had other options as far as,
and he chose the Texans. What does that say about Denver?
Oh yeah.
What does it say about Denver? If not Dan Quinn, if Harbaugh didn't want you, you know what I mean? If DeMeco Ryans didn't want you, and some people say Dan Quinn turned down. I don't know how true that is or not, but it could be. So I mean, I'm just saying, Sean Payton, third or fourth choice. I mean, that can't be a good look for Denver neither.
That's not a good look for Denver or Sean Payton. But let's be real, Harbaugh will get other offers. He will get other offers.
That's true.
Dan Quinn will get other offers.
DeMeco Ryans had other offers.
He
could have stayed in San Francisco for another year and got even more offers. That's what I'm saying. If you obviously, as a player who played there for that long, he doesn't view the franchise the same way that we view the franchise. You know what I mean? Like that's the only thing that's the only conclusion you can come to at this point. If he turned down other jobs and took that job, or he even said, he didn't say I'm gonna stay in San Francisco and see if a better job opens up. He wanted that job. So I mean, obviously he don't look at them the way we do.
Fair enough. LSU men's basketball team.
Oh man.
Yesterday they dropped their 9th in a row to Missouri.
Shout out Dennis Gates, man. He doing a good job with that Missouri team.
Yeah, they were down a lot, and they got down not too much. I think that their final score was like 9, a single digit win, if I'm not mistaken, or loss rather for LSU.
I got a question.
Hopefully I got an answer.
All right. So obviously this season is pretty much done for. So as we look forward to next year, are we at that point in college sports where you gotta put money into a bad program. Like, I know people don't want to pay for losers. They want to give money to the teams that are winning. But how else is a coach supposed to turn the team around if he's not able to compete for the recruits he needs? You know what I'm saying? Like, if LSU
10-point loss. Sorry about that.
Yeah, they lost by 10. If LSU is having not only to compete with other SEC schools, but having to compete with the Memphis and I know they about to move. Memphis and who are some other mid majors that are like Gonzaga? You know what I mean? Obviously, them you got more schools to compete with in basketball because you got the mid majors who can compete with you for some of the talent. So how else is McMahon supposed to go get the best players if everybody's like, I'm not supporting the basketball program because they're not good?
I think this program, because you said bad program, I don't think it's a bad program. I think
it's a bad product right now. I'll say
bad product right now, yes. But the program isn't bad. We know there's promise.
Do we?
I mean, we just.
I'm not trying to be unfair. I'm just saying.
To be fair, we saw it with Matt McMahon is a winning coach. He got to tournaments with Marquette. Not Marquette, Murray State.
State, yeah.
Murray State. And he made a few runs. We know that LSU can be a recruiting hotbed, I guess, or warm bed, if you want to look at it like that.
Can they?
I mean, they were with Will Wade when he was,
when he was doing it illegally.
But now the illegal way he was doing it is not legal.
That's the thing. He was doing it with his money.
Oh, that's true.
You see what I'm saying? Like, who's putting up this money? If nobody wants to support the basketball program because they're not winning, who's gonna give the money to Matt McMahon so he can go do what he needs to do to get players? And that's another thing. We say the future that we know there's promise there. I'm not saying it from a Matt McMahon standpoint. I'm saying it from a program as a whole. We don't know if we're gonna have a postseason ban, scholarship production. We don't know what's coming that way, so we don't really know how bright the future is. So I just feel like as fans, it's so easy for us to be like, oh, they're not playing good right now. I'm done. I'm not gonna watch them. I'm not gonna support them. I'm not gonna do anything like that. But in my opinion, you're just prolonging how long they're gonna be bad. You know what I mean? Like, if you want them to be good, you need to give them resources. You need to, I'm not saying NIL deal, but support them, so they can get resources from sponsors who can want to, support a player or something like that. Because how else is Matt McMahon supposed to go and get a recruit over a Mississippi State or over Buzz Williams at Texas A&M if our LSU ain't supporting their program the way the mother schools supporting their programs?
That's a good question. Maybe if they support it,
it's the chicken and the egg, bro. No, do you got to have a good program? Do you got to have a good program to be able for fans to support, or do you need the support and then that brings a good program?
I think you need to see. I don't think you need. So we saw it like the beginning of the season. If you come out and you're winning, we had questions at the beginning of the season. But if you're winning, and you're doing so in a way, what you know what I'm saying, you see the fight. People can stomach that a little bit, and they'll be willing to put a little bit into that. The problem what we're seeing now, we were getting our asses handed to us in games that we should have been fighting. It should have been, a lot of contests.
But even before the Alabama game, like, you lost a close one to Florida.
You lost a close one to Kentucky.
Yeah,
people
was okay with it. But when you lost a close one at home to Florida, people criticized the program. You know what I mean? Like,
when you lost to Texas A&M,
you a close one to Texas A&M, you got killed.
I get
killed. So I understand getting killed whenever you lose by 40. You know what I mean? But whenever you have growing pains, you can't just abandon ship like that, bro.
Right.
Like that, especially for a program that's rebuilding. Like you gotta you can't do that, man. And expect them to be consistent as a program whenever you're not consistent with the support. Like it don't make sense.
You asked about NIL. Well, this week, LSU officially announced a school-backed NIL collective. I think this is a subscription base where you can donate a little bit a month or whatever a month. What are your thoughts? Because let
I
me
ain't
say
got
this.
it nowhere. I pay too much for season tickets for this. Man, y'all find a way to get it out any kind of way you can, bro. LSU
But
Gold and
they
all
already
this.
had a non-school backed. I think it was a
Yeah,
player pushed initiative
yeah. It was the player
collective
push.
as
I don't
well.
know if that was technically considered a collective. I know they had one called Greater Baton Rouge or some kind of thing like that. That's some kind of collective. But this is the first school backed one. But
Mhm.
I just I'm okay with it. I don't know how we're gonna be able as fans to be able to give to everything because you got TAF and season ticket fees, you got LSU Gold, now you got this collective, you know what I mean, and you still got all the Fanatics NIL deals with the Fanatics jersey sales and all that. It's like sooner or later you're gonna have people giving all this money but not coming to games because they can't afford to come to the game no more. You know what I mean? So I'm cool with it. I just don't know how much. I don't know when is too much. Too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, or when is too much enough? I just don't. I don't know if it's gonna end anytime soon. But I give them a little $10 or something. You know what I'm saying? Skip lunch one day and get
Oh
them
my
our lunch
goodness.
money.
Oh my goodness. LSU women is out here
Looking
like they
forward.
looking
Looking towards
ahead.
South
Yeah.
Carolina. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's 55-48. Georgia just got an and one. They finna go to the free throw line and shoot the extra. It's like 24 seconds left in the third. I mean, it's still time in the game, but Georgia came out here like we already knew they was gonna get LSU their best shot. Everybody's gonna get LSU their best shot.
You got to be able to play with that bullet on your back,
Yeah.
that target on your back. It might be a good thing though. If it might be a good thing if they get an L before South Carolina. I'm not wishing it on them,
Oh
but
no.
a L before South Carolina might, refocus them, remotivate them a little bit.
Yeah.
You watch the Pro Bowl stuff,
For what? That trash?
the skills competition.
No. I read the
You
script.
ain't see what Derek Carr said.
I saw what Derek Carr said. I did see the clip, but I ain't watched that.
Hey, the skills competition, the best part of the weekend.
Yeah. But I read the script, man. That shit is trash. That's trash. Um. What you got this weekend? What you looking forward to?
I can't say the Pro Bowl. I don't even know, bro. I mean, it's some college basketball. I'm looking forward to a little bit this weekend. We got some pretty big matchups this on Saturday. Obviously, not the LSU one. I'm scared of that one. But Auburn, Tennessee, Purdue, Indiana, Kansas State, Texas, uh, Gonzaga, St. Mary's. That's always a good game. Then you got the Tobacco Road rivalry. First time without Coach K. Uh, they both unranked. It's kind of weird to see both of them be unranked to play this game, but probably gonna just be watching little hoops this weekend.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. Give me some UFC. It's some UFC this weekend.
Who
I'm gonna
fighting
watch.
this weekend?
Islam and Volk. Ain't that this weekend?
I don't. You the UFC guy? I don't know. I just watch it when it's on.
I think it's a. Nope. I'm wrong. Actually, I think that's next weekend. This weekend, Derek Lewis versus Spivak.
Ooh,
Spivak.
Derek Lewis. Yeah, I gotta watch the Black Beast fight. Oh, I forgot. I'm watching football this Saturday. Senior Bowl.
Senior Bowl. Yes,
As actually right now on NFL Network is the East West Shrine game. the East is trailing the West 3-0 in the second quarter. So
It's gonna be nice, man.
Our friend from Spaces, her son is playing in the East-West Shrine game, DTR. So I probably catch that after this and watch a little
Miss
bit
Melville.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miss Melville. But yeah, I probably gonna watch that this weekend. The Senior Bowl, and then watch basketball around the Senior Bowl. It's gonna be raining all weekend here, man. I'm tired. I feel like
man, it's raining.
I feel like Bubba. I feel like I'm with Bubba and Forrest out here.
Rain was coming from the north, from the south.
Yeah, it was raining sideways. One day it just started raining and it didn't quit.
Before we get up out of here, we do want to announce we do have programming change. First off, the Golden Boot will be on Sundays and Wednesdays. HBCU hour Mondays and Thursdays. And you don't have to worry about what time. All shows will be at 8 p.m. Central. And again, we want to say Happy Black History Month. Go out and learn something new. I had to teach my kids, I ain't had to teach them. We was talking today. My daughter made the comment. Let me learn. And I know Chucky here. I know he know, but let me learn y'all a little something. My daughter hit me with the man, why Black History Month got to be the shortest month? And I explained to her how we got to February. So it started off as being Negro History Day by Carter G. Woodson. Then he decided to do Negro History Week. The reason why he chose February in that week was because it's to honor both Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln, whose birthdays are both in February. His vision was for it to be to go from a day to a week and eventually a month and a year. Well, we're at a month, Mr. Carter G. Woodson, and people are continually learning every day, about the contributions that our ancestors have presented for this country and this world. So
yeah, we did a year too though. A few years ago, McDonald's did that Black 365 campaign.
Yeah.
And honestly, 2020, if you want to be real.
That's true. That is true. So for anybody who didn't know, that is why Black History Month is in February. You are welcome.
I will say this though. Please learn something. Google is free. You can Google Black History Fact every day of Black History Month to celebrate. There's no shame in not knowing it, but there is shame in not trying to find out. So
I guarantee you, there's at least 5 items in your home that you wouldn't think of that were invented by a Black person. One I found out recently, home security system, as far as the video camera.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of them, bro.
Invented in the 60s.
From the Super Soaker to the traffic lights.
I met him. Lonnie Johnson.
Super Soaker. Yeah.
He's from Mobile. He went to Tuskegee. And the way he invented the Super Soaker, he was making a water, like for the space shuttle, he was making like this water system, and he accidentally pushed it and it squirted out. And he was like, oh, and then he did it again. He's like, oh, this will be fun. And that's how he got the Super Soaker.
Yeah.
Happy accidents. We'll be back Sunday. This Sunday. We should have a special guest.
8 o'clock. All y'all gotta do is subscribe and hit that little bell, and it'll let you know every time we go live.
Yeah. So we'll be back Sunday. We'll be back next Wednesday as well. We'll have a special guest in to come on to talk about the Super Bowl with us. So tune in. I don't think we got nothing else.
That's all I got.
It. All right. Like that. Are out.
Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot. On YouTube at The Golden Boot Pod. On Facebook at The Golden Boot Pod.